Hey guys, this is the Derette DRT450 I picked up from Digzilla. Just give you a quick little demo. We'll open that up a bit later. Alright, what do you reckon? She's a bit of a beast, this one. Feels nice and solid to operate. All the controls are very firm. There's no slop in anything. The hydraulics are a little bit slower than the cheaper machines, like the cycle rate. That's definitely something I've noticed. I should probably have the ram up, but I'm not going to be under here for long. So you can all just scream at me about health and safety. Alright, so I've never even looked under there. There's our triple pump, full width hydraulic tank with our filters in top, proper sized battery. It's all pretty tidy. None of the hoses are really hanging near the exhaust to get overly hot. There's hard hoses where you need them. In the back out here. That is one design thing I don't actually like about the guy so far, is you have to have the boom up to get under the bonnet. So yeah, I'm not a real big fan on that, to be honest. On my other one over there in the shed, you don't have to. So I'm wondering, like, what happens if you've got a flat battery or you break down? I guess you're going to have to jump start it off the chassis or something. So this is the engine in here. The oil is still difficult to check, even though they put in this nice big new service hole here. The hose runs right past it, so that makes it really difficult. Most of the wiring's pretty tidy. The hoses up inside all look great. Nice Honda. Service this at 20 hours supposedly. I'm going to do a video on how to do that. Our drains are down there on the side. Oh, look at this. This even comes with a nice beautiful extension. That's going to be such an easy oil change. Look, there's our plug down the bottom down there. Nice padded control area. We've done about 15 minutes on it so far. I've noticed these are a lot stiffer. Definitely get more hand fatigue when I'm using that. I see they've used proper zerks everywhere. They don't have a big lip on them, but so my grease gun kind of slides off. I haven't greased everything yet. They've only used the recessed zerks like on the 4-in-1 and here. But everywhere else on the machine has regular zerks, so that'll make greasing a lot easier. I've noticed it's got a mechanical track adjuster, so that's good with the hex on the end of the thread, so you adjust the thread on this. This is second one's just a locking nut. So we'll probably get a ratchet spanner for that. I notice the tracks come from the factory pretty bloody tight. I don't know if they're too tight. Maybe they just need to be bedded in. Generally everything's pretty up to scratch, you know, for a machine of this sort of, that costs this much. I haven't unboxed the toys yet. I guess we could do that in a minute. Alright, before I unbox these and we have a look inside there, I'm just going to run some grease over it. When you're thinking about buying a grease gun, definitely buy an electric grease gun, but I don't recommend one of these ones off eBay. Australian cartridges don't fit inside, so you kind of got to suck the grease out, and it just generally sucks. It really does. But it works. Did it just lose some prime? I don't know. See? Fucked already. Well, has it got grease in it? I should do this on camera so you can see me get greasy. Yes, it's not. My guess is the spring's buggered. So maybe we won't grease it, hey? Told ya. Don't buy this electric grease gun. Piece of shit. Okay. Okay, luckily we have an Old Faithful. Hopefully it's got some grease in it. As you can see, it's pretty greased. Like most of these are only taking 1 or 2 pumps. Can't be unhappy with that, really. We did that one. So the other side grease nipple for that roller is on the inside. So I can't get at it with a standard grease gun. I'm going to have to get a flexible, an elbow or something like that. All greased up. Let's have a look at what goodies they gave us. This one's pretty heavy. I did have a sneak peek in here, so I know I've got our teeth. Comes with these set of pliers. They don't feel terrible. This set of Allen keys. To be honest, not terrible. They're not totally useless. I'd use them around the shop. Shifting spanner. It's not too bad. And we've got our measurements here on the other side. Decent sort of screwdriver. Again, it feels okay. You can tell when they're just really bad, cheap Chinese. Nice Phillips head. One more of the teeth. And a couple of random spanners. I'm guessing these are ones you need to tension the tracks and for most nuts and bolts and to do a service. Again, they feel like they're a better quality than the cheaper machines that you get. I mean, they're not a terrible tool. Well, time will tell, won't it? Wait till I strip it out in the paddock. Then you can tell me whether or not it was a good tool or not. So what's in this guy? All sorts of shit. Honda manual or warranty book and information. A Honda air cleaner. 2 hydraulic hoses. I'm not sure what they're for. Don't know. Ah, a phone holder. That's pretty cool. What do we got in here? This looks like a hydraulic filter. Yep, 1 hydraulic filter. So you're meant to change the oil at 20 hours, and that includes hydraulic oil. These come pre-loaded with quality oil, so they use a Kubota oil in the hydraulics, and I think a Shell or some other kind of oil in the engine. So there's no need to rush home and change the oils. You can just start this guy straight up, start using it. Genuine Honda oil filter. Pretty good kit. Honda fuel filter. We've got a grease gun in here. Doesn't look like anything special. Not sure what these two are. Oh, they look like the intake screens on the hydraulics as well. Yeah, so they're obviously for 20 hours. I don't know why I got 2 of them. Maybe they know something I don't. And then we get a proper Derette cover. Nice silver cover. I'm not going to undo it because I don't need it just yet. But if I start leaving it down the front, I will use that cover. So that's pretty cool. I like the nice little touch, my phone holder. The hydraulic oil filter is a good one because you're seeing a lot of these others out here. Get them home and you want to service them. There's always a scramble to try and find the hydraulic oil filter. A lot of people opt to put a external oil filter on, which probably wouldn't be a bad addition, I guess. This will be compatible with any oil filter from Repco. It's most likely a WZ443, but you should check that. I'll be checking that for you as well, and I'll put that up in the files. air filter. So it's pretty cool. I'll read that manual a bit later, I guess. Won't bore you to death with that now. So I reckon we should take it for a drive, eh? Go and shovel some dirt somewhere. Okay, let's go for a bit of a drive. First thing I noticed is that the levers are a bit harder to push than on my cheap machine, but it's very precise. It doesn't rattle either. So on the Landhero style there's a fair bit of play in the track tensioner, you know, 5 to 10 mil even. But on this there's none of that track bouncing noise. Just grab this bit of pile of shit. The controls are completely backwards to the other machine, so it's a full-on learning curve. These backwards controls are getting me, so forgive my clumsiness. The controls are definitely more precise, 100%. Like, doesn't he? Right? So it's all on me. Controls. I look like an amateur today. Likes the higher revs. It's very delayed when it's in the lower revs. I've noticed that. another storm, so we're just going to run the leveling blade over the top of the drive. Alright, we've made it to the top of the hill. I don't think it comes up the hill as quick as the Cardiwell. That's pretty sad. Cardiwell's a beast, it flies. It's definitely better precise controls there. Like, that would take me a few goes on the other machine, so for precision, this thing's definitely a leader. Had a fair bit of rain the last few days. Well, yesterday, this morning we woke up to a storm. Very unusual. Went from fog to a thunderstorm. The thunderstorm was hiding behind the fog. It was pretty interesting. Clean that out somehow. Like that, I reckon. That'll do. I goofed it. Let's go back. all doing pretty well, those drains, so I'm going to leave them alone today. Take this back. We've got all of 1 hour on it now. Next couple of days, I'll come up here and dig some dirt, So we're finally starting to get some track bedding in. You can hear the tracks making a noise now. I'd say they're starting to stretch. Makes more hydraulic noises than the other machine. We'll just clean up the mess in front of the shed there where I was messing around before, and then we'll put this 4-in-1, this levelling bar away. The levers are definitely harder on your fingers than the previous machine. Likes to travel at higher RPM, that's for sure. Nice fine scrape. Hey, it's almost impossible to do first go on the other girl, I tell ya. Oops. We've bitten a bit too much, we got greedy. Oh, look at that, we got greedy. Hey, we could have done that. today. We're just making a mess, hey? So let's get rid of this thing. Got to get used to these controls. Diabolical. Just going to rip the yard up anyway. I know. So what do I think after all that? Not too bad. It's thirsty as expected, but it is only running in, so we won't see any real fuel economy till about the 20-hour mark. The hydraulics have stayed within a very acceptable temperature range, probably about 70 or something degrees there, as long as they're in the green. It doesn't feel overly hot. Yeah, I reckon she's great. Not 100% sold on the auto level bucket. It's certainly good when you're trying to level, but when you're trying to scoop stuff, I haven't enjoyed it. But we'll get used to that. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks guys. If you like this sort of content, like and subscribe. Leave me a note if you want to hear about more. Yeah, hopefully in Christmas we've got some more machines coming. We've got some pretty exciting, unique stuff as well. So stick around for that. Thanks.